These are the test corrections for the angle relationships, Pythagorean, and review test. In order to get credit for test corrections, you must copy down any work that I show for each of these problems to show that you've watched the video. Number 1, which pair of angles are both adjacent and supplementary? So looking at these, I'm looking for something that's both adjacent and supplementary, meaning adjacent, they're next to each other. Supplementary, the two angles add up to 180 degrees. So looking at angles 1 and 2, they are adjacent, they're next to each other, but because this doesn't form a straight line, it is not supplementary. So not that one. Next one, 3 and 4, these are complementary, meaning they're going to add up to 90 degrees, but they're not supplementary. 5 and 6, these are both supplementary. I see a straight line here, and they're adjacent. They are right next to each other. And just to double check my last possible answer, 7 and 8, these are vertical angles. They are not adjacent, and they are not supplementary. So my answer is 5 and 6. Number 2, which angle is congruent to angle 3? So when I look at this one, I want to first find angle 3. So here's angle 3, and I'm looking for something that's congruent to it. So if I can draw a line here just to highlight these two lines, because of the way these lines cross, that means angle 3 and angle 6 are vertical angles, so they are congruent. Number 3, the angle below is 53 degrees. What is the measure of the supplement of this angle? All right, so if this measure is 53 degrees, if they're asking for the supplement, we're talking about the other angle that would make it add up to 180. In other words, the rest of what would be a straight line. So the best way to find this is to pull out my calculator and just subtract 180 minus 53, and the answer will be 127 degrees. Number 4, examine the 3 different angles. What must be the value of x? So looking at this one, I've got three angles all sitting on a nice straight line here. So I know that straight lines are going to create angles that add up to 180 degrees. So the 3 of these angles will add up to 180 degrees. So I'm just going to create an equation that shows that. So 9x plus 85 plus 10x equals 180. And now I just need to use algebra to solve this. So I'm going to combine my like terms to start out. 9x plus 10x is 19x, and then plus 85 equals 180. Now I'm going to subtract 85 from both sides to cancel it out. Cancels. And I'll get 19x equals 180 minus 85 is 95. Last step, divide both sides by the 19. And you'll get x equals 95 divided by 19 is 5. So my answer is x equals 5. And you want to be careful with these because some of them will ask for the answer of x, others might ask for the value of one of the angles in particular. This one's just asking for x, so my answer is going to be x equals 5. The image shows angles M, N, and P. Angles N and P are complementary. If angle M is 125 degrees, what is the measure of angle P in degrees? So I have been given that angle M is 125 degrees, so I'm just going to come over here and label that, and I'm looking for angle P. So the problem here is that I can't find angle P without angle M because I know those two add up to 90 degrees, but I don't have any other reference for angle P. So I'm going to have to find angle N before I can find angle P. I can also see that angle N and angle M form a set of supplementary angles. So they're going to add up to 180. So I'm going to find angle N by subtracting. I'm just going to put in my calculator 180 minus 125, and I'll get that angle N is 55 degrees. Now that I know angle N is 55 degrees, I can use these complementary angles, and I'll just change my color here. So these angles here, N and P, are complementary, so they add up to 90. So now I can just go 90 minus 55, and that'll give me 35 degrees for angle P. Two intersecting lines are shown, but the image is not to scale. The measure of angle Y is blank degrees. All right, when I look at these angles, I see that I've got two lines. They form vertical angles. And vertical angles are just when two lines cross, so the angles that are across from each other. And vertical angles are always congruent. So I know that angle Y is 47 degrees. Okay, FG and HI intersect at point E. That just means that the two lines are going to cross each other. What is the value of X in degrees? So my two lines, since they're crossing each other, that means that these two angles are what's called vertical angles, so they are equal to each other. So I can use that information to create an equation. 6x minus 36 equals 120. Then I just use some algebra to solve this. So add 36 to both sides. And I get 6x equals 120 minus 36 is 84. And then divide both sides by 6 to cancel out your 6. 84 divided by 6 is 14. So X equals 14. Which figure shows a pair of complementary angles? So for this one, complementary angles are just any two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So that's all I'm looking for here is two angles that add up to 90. As far as the notes that I want you to write for this one, I just want you to write on your paper, complementary angles are two angles that add to 90 degrees. And that's all you need to do. The answer here is the second choice, the 40 degrees plus 50 degrees adds up to 90. Okay, what is the value of X in this figure? So whenever they're asking for us to find an angle, we want to look for those complementary, supplementary, vertical angles that can give us a hint as to what everything is going to add up to. I see a nice straight line here. I know that straight lines, if you're looking at the angles on one side of them, they add up to 180 degrees. So this angle with 109 plus this angle X will add up to 180. So 109 plus X equals 180. And I can just subtract 109 from both sides, which means all I really need to do for this is 180 minus 109 in my calculator, and I get X equals 71 degrees. Or not, yeah, 71 degrees. Number 10, Barry is lifting one end of a post so that it will be perpendicular to the ground. He has already lifted it 49 degrees from the ground, but needs a friend to help him with the remaining amount. How many more degrees must the pole be lifted? So whenever you get these word problems, it's always a good idea to draw yourself some pictures to try to help you figure it out. So he's lifting a pole and he wants it to be perpendicular to the ground. So the ground is always going to be, as far as math is concerned, let's just consider it to be a nice flat straight line, okay? And you can just draw that to start out. So he wants his pole to be perpendicular. Perpendicular means that it's at a 90-degree angle. So this is what he wants. He wants his pole at a 90-degree angle. He has already lifted it 49 degrees. So I'll kind of change my color here so I can see what's happening. So he's already lifted it 49 degrees. And I'll just label this here. And he needs a friend to help him with the rest. So here's Barry standing here. Not really necessary to draw him, but so he's trying to lift this thing up. He's gotten it up to 49 degrees. He needs it to go to 90 degrees there. And we need to know what the difference is. So because you're trying to get it to 90, we're looking for 90 minus what he's already done is 49 degrees. So 41 is the remainder of what he needs to lift.